Did archaeologists find Jesus's actual boat? Hey, I'm Jordan with Bible Archaeology. We are here with some more bad archaeological news corrections. This is not a news story. This is not a news story either. This is a recirculation of an old thing that draws on some real archaeological finds and evidence to support something that it simply cannot. So if you have seen this floating around, we want to unpack some of this. We're working off of a version that came from a social media account that says the boat that Jesus actually used has been found. Now, if you look at their caption, they walk away from this a little bit, and we want to get into why they do that, as well as what they are actually talking about. So they are talking about what commonly gets referred to as the Jesus boat. You can tell right from that name, there's a little bit of leading happening here. So what is this boat? This is a boat that was found along the shore of the Sea of Galilee. It does date, according to radiocarbon dating, to the 1st century CE or the end of the 1st century BCE. So if Jesus was around the Sea of Galilee at the time that the Gospels say that he was, this boat could have been somewhere on the shore of the Sea of Galilee in that time frame. However, what this archaeology cannot do is tell you that this was Jesus's actual boat. While we do have stories of Jesus in boats from the Gospels, yes, there's nothing about this boat that supports it being identified as Jesus's boat. And if you look at the caption of this post, you'll see down at the bottom, they say many believe it could be the actual boat Jesus used, or at least the same kind. And this is where you get that hedging away from the big claim that they want you to have to more of what the archaeologists actually claim, because the archaeologists don't identify this as Jesus's boat. This boat was found in 1986. It's not new. And from that time, early on, it got this identification in the press, to which archaeologists said, well, we're not calling it that. What we are saying is this is the kind of boat that was around the Sea of Galilee at this time. Could that give you some insight into what this might have looked like in the eye of the gospel writers? Sure, but they are not calling it Jesus's boat. Something else that happens in this caption is they throw the name Josephus in, right? They're going to point some to the Gospels saying, here are some references to boats in the Gospels. And then they also point to Josephus saying, well, this matches Josephus's description as well, leading you, I think in the context of the way they set this out, to say, well, this matches Josephus's description of Jesus in a boat, except Josephus never describes Jesus in a boat. Josephus doesn't really describe Jesus's ministry. There are 2 references to Jesus in Josephus. One of them, highly disputed, that talks about Jesus and Pilate and the crucifixion, and then another that is much shorter that identifies him as the brother of James. Neither of these talk about Jesus and boats. What Josephus does talk about, though, with boats in Jewish war is a part of a revolution, a rebellion that happened at Migdol during the Jewish wars, and boats that were made there to help rebels flee, and then boats that were built by the Romans to chase them. And so archaeologists have pointed to Josephus's description of boats as something that could corroborate some of our understanding of this archaeological find, not identifying it with Jesus, but the context of what boats looked like in this region at that time. So all of that to say, is this the boat that Jesus actually used? Archaeologists do not say that. There is no way to say that. Could this be the kind of boat that the authors of the Gospels had in mind? Yes, this could be the shape, the type of boat that was used. But it can't be Jesus's boat just because it was found near somewhere that the Gospels say Jesus was.